वे काम कर रहे हैं, ये किस तौर पे हमारे सेक्टर को बूस्ट कर रहे हैं, किस टाइप की पॉलिसीज हैं, क्या इनके खुद के ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं जब आप अप्लाई करते हैं किसी लोन के लिए या स्कीम के लिए। तो वो हमारी आज मुहिम रहेगी। ज़्यादा वक्त ना लेते हुए मैं पहले आपको थोड़ा इंट्रोड्यूस कर दूं कि आज हमारे समक्ष कौन कौन है। मैं चाहूँगा अनामिका जी आप उनका पोर्टफोलियो भी एक बार इधर एक प्रेजेंटेशन के तौर पे फ्लैश कर दीजिए कि जो लोग उपस्थित हैं वो समझें कि किस लेवल के लोग मिनिस्ट्री से यहाँ पूरे के पूरे सामूहिक तौर पे आए हैं। सो सबसे पहले मैं वेलकम करना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी जी का। इसको जरा फुल फ्रेम कर दीजिए प्लीज। डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी को हम सब भली भांति जानते हैं और उनका जो क्या कहते हैं, एक मिनट जरा होल्ड करेंगे।
जस्ट सेकेंड, मैं इसको करने जा रहा हूँ। कर्नल साहब आप म्यूट पे हैं।
हाँ, मैं डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी जी के बारे में बोल रहा था, तो मैं अभी इतना ही बोलूंगा कि ऐसा कोई नहीं है इस फोरम में जो आज यहाँ उपस्थित हैं जो डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी को नहीं जानते हैं। तो मैं डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी को हमने इसलिए आज आमंत्रित किया है कि वो जो मुहिम और जो स्पेयर हेडिंग कर रही हैं पॉलिसीज का, स्कीम्स का, जिससे कि पूरा जो ये वैल्यू चेन है वो एक तौर से रिव्यू हो, री एनर्जाइज हो। और कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स जो हमारे जो आगे हैं, चाहे वो सतत स्कीम के अधीन हो, चाहे वो बायो एनर्जी के अधीन हो, चाहे बायो वेस्ट के अधीन हो, वो सारे जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं इंक्लूडिंग बायोगैस वो आगे बढ़े। इसके अलावा हमारे समक्ष तीन मेंबर्स एमएनआरई के हैं। पहले हैं डॉक्टर गौरव मिश्रा जी, जिनको जिन लोगों ने भी सीएफए के थ्रू अप्लाई किया होगा आपको भली भांति पता होगा गौरव मिश्रा जी के बारे में, और साथ ही मीना जी के बारे में और शाही जी के बारे में। तो ये तीन हमारे साथ यहाँ पे आज उपस्थित हैं एमएनआरई से। शाही जी भी जुड़े हैं और साथ में मीना जी भी जुड़े हैं। इसके अलावा हमारे पास इरेडा से जुड़े हैं भरत सिंह राजपूत जी, जो कि एक बहुत ही क्रिटिकल रोल अदा कर रहे हैं। लोन स्कीम्स जो निकलती हैं, जो पॉलिसीज निकलती हैं एमएनआरई से, उसके अधीन एक्सटेंड करने का सेक्टर में। और ये भी दिल्ली में इनका ऑफिस है। इसके अलावा हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं पंजाब से निबे से डॉक्टर सचिन कुमार, जिनको आपने पिछले बार आईएफजी के इवेंट में भी सुना होगा। तो वो भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं। मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा बिकॉज ये थोड़ा 2 घंटे का ही समय है। सो आई विल हैंड ओवर टू श्री संजय गंजू जी टू इंट्रोड्यूस द इवेंट एंड डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी जी एंड इन्वाइट हर फॉर द कीनोट एड्रेस एंड देन विल प्रोसीड। थैंक यू।
रेस्पेक्टेड डॉक्टर कस्तूरे, माय कलीग्स, कर्नल रोहित देव, हमारे एडवाइजर, नेशनल एडवाइजर सुबोध जी, और जो यहाँ पे उपस्थित हमारे पैनलिस्ट्स हैं एमएनआरई में। हमने बायो एनर्जी में पिछले 10 साल में काफ़ी काम हुआ है। जो सेक्टर एकदम से नेग्लेक्टेड था या जिस पे कोई काम हुआ नहीं था, उसमें सडनली पिछले 10 साल में काफ़ी काम हुआ है। उसका श्रेय भारत सरकार को जाता है। और कई सारे टारगेट बायो एनर्जी के सेक्टर में हमने रखे हैं, चाहे वो बायोमास से रिलेटेड हो, जिसमें 5% की ब्लेंडिंग का एक किस्म से मैंडेट है पावर प्लांट्स को। सिमिलरली सीबीजी के लिए हमने टारगेट्स रखे हैं कि 5,000 प्लांट्स सतत की योजना में डलने थे। इथेनॉल की एक हमने टारगेट रखा है कि 20% तक ब्लेंडिंग होगी। बायोडीजल में भी एक टारगेट है कि 5% तक ब्लेंडिंग होगी। तो ऐसे अलग अलग प्रकार के जो बायोफ्यूल हैं, उसके लिए हमने अलग अलग टारगेट्स रखे हैं भारत सरकार ने। और भारत सरकार इसको लेकर के काफ़ी एग्रेसिवली काम कर रही है। और जो इसके फ्रंटल डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं, चाहे वो एमएनआरई हो, चाहे एमओपीएनजी हो, चाहे वो यू नो ड्रिंकिंग वाटर एंड सैनिटेशन डिपार्टमेंट हो, गोवर्धन योजना, या इवन मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर, फर्टिलाइजर, सभी डिपार्टमेंट्स बहुत एग्रेसिवली इसमें काम कर रहे हैं। और मैंने ये भी देखा है कि स्टेट्स में भी काफ़ी इसको लेकर के इंटरेस्ट है और वो काम भी कर रहे हैं। तो बेसिकली इस सारे सेक्टर्स को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, इन सेक्टर्स में इन्वेस्टमेंट आ जाए, इसमें लोग इसमें काम करें, उसका बेनिफिट उठाएं। हम इंडियन फेडरेशन ऑफ ग्रीन एनर्जी की तरफ से इस पे बहुत काम कर रहे हैं, पर्टिकुलरली ऑन पॉलिसी एडवोकेसी इश्यूज। और इसके लिए हमने पिछले कई सालों में, चाहे वो सीबीजी हो, चाहे इथेनॉल हो, चाहे वो बायोमास हो, चाहे बायोडीजल हो, ऐसे सभी क्षेत्रों पे हमने पॉलिसी को लेकर के सरकार के साथ उसके इश्यूज लिए हैं और उनको लेकर के सरकार को सजग कराया है कि कौन सी चीजें इसमें हमें करने से फायदा होगा और इंडस्ट्री आगे बढ़ सकती है। तो मैं हर्ष के साथ ये कहना चाहूंगा कि मैं जहां जब जब भी हम सरकार के साथ इन इश्यूज को लेकर के बात करते हैं, तो हमें प्रोएक्टिवली और बहुत पॉजिटिवली उसका सपोर्ट मिलता है। और जिसमें एमएनआरई का एक बहुत बड़ा रोल है। जैसे कर्नल रोहित देव ने कहा, डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी इस बायो एनर्जी सेक्टर को पर्टिकुलरली लीड कर रही हैं, उनकी पूरी टीम। मेरा पर्सनल परिचय डॉक्टर गौरव मिश्रा जी से भी है। बाकी जो डॉक्टर शाही हैं, डॉक्टर मीना है, ये सब लोग इसको प्रोएक्टिव काम कर रहे हैं इन इश्यूज को लेकर के। मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं लेऊंगा, क्योंकि पूरे सेक्टर की जानकारी को लेकर के जो आज हमने टॉपिक रखा है, बायो एनर्जी सेक्टर इन भारत, चैलेंजेस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज, एक ब्रॉड सब्जेक्ट है। उसको लेकर के हमें काफ़ी चीज़ें सीखनी होंगी, समझनी होंगी, और हमारी भी कुछ जिज्ञासाएं होंगी जिसको लेकर के हमें शायद यहाँ पे कुछ प्रश्न रखने होंगे। तो मैं सब स्पीकर्स का, सभी अतिथियों का यहाँ स्वागत करता हूँ, वेलकम करता हूँ। पर्टिकुलरली डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरे जी, डॉक्टर गौरव मिश्रा, डॉक्टर सचिन कुमार, डॉक्टर संजय कुमार शाही जी, डॉक्टर सीताराम मीना, मिस्टर भरत सिंह राजपूत जी, और मेरे यहाँ पे सीनियर भी इसमें रामकृष्णा जी हैं। मैं वरुण कराड़ जी को भी देख रहा था। सुबोध जी हमारे नेशनल एडवाइजर हैं, वो भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं। सभी जो मेरे साथी और जो यहाँ पे अतिथि मैं अभी देख रहा हूँ, लगभग 100 के करीब गेस्ट्स ऑलरेडी ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं। मुझे आशा है शायद और भी लोग इसमें ज्वाइन करेंगे अभी, क्योंकि काफ़ी लोगों का इंटरेस्ट था। मैं सबका स्वागत करता हूँ और कर्नल रोहित देव से निवेदन करता हूँ कि वो कार्यक्रम की श्रृंखला में आगे का क्रम बताएं।
धन्यवाद सर। अभी मैं अनुरोध करूंगा डॉक्टर संगीता कस्तूरी से कि वो अपना कीनोट एड्रेस दें और थोड़ा मार्गदर्शन करें। मैडम, ओवर टू यू। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कर्नल रोहित देव जी, श्री संजय गंजू जी and IFG team and my colleagues and also all the participants who have joined here. सभी को नमस्कार। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल माय कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स टू IFG कि आपने बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत की है इसमें कि बहुत सारे गवर्नमेंट्स के स्कीम है उसको कॉमन लोगों तक पहुंचाने में IFG का काफी बड़ा रोल है। और वो अभी से इस वार्ता से बीजी AF वार्ता से शुरुआत हो रही है, तो आई एम very grateful to you and also we look forward to continuing this program so that our scheme, whatever government schemes initiatives are there, those are reached to the developers, startups and the entire ecosystem is developed in that. जैसे हमें पता है कि आजकल एयर पोल्यूशन, होप आई एम ऑडिबल?
Yes, yes,
जी
you are audible.
जी मैम, यू आर।
तो जैसे हमें पता है पोल्यूशन आजकल जो चल रहा है, काफी 1 महीने से हम यहाँ दिल्ली नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न साइड में, नॉर्थ साइड में कर रहे हैं। तो उसका इसमें बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग, उसमें वन ऑफ देम इज दी स्टबल। वो तो है, बाकी सारे भी उसमें फैक्टर्स है। देन वी नीड टू वर्क टुगेदर टू combat this and widespread practice of stubble burning. It's also creating environmental and health issues. But there are multiple solutions also available, which MNRE, including MNRE, has these solutions. क्योंकि ये जो है इसमें basically which is the major factor, which is a bioresource, that is not only the resource, but it is a valuable resource, which should not consider this as a waste. Along with biomass, there are many other biogenic wastes are available, may be gaseous form as well as the solid form, the MSW as well as flue gas, those things. those can be very well captured and converted into energy solutions. It could be either energy form as well as valuable products. India in 2022 November has announced the bioenergy program, National Bioenergy Program, which was notified with the outlay of 1715 crores for implementation of this, which is basically the intention is to utilize waste and convert into bioenergy. There is a good potential of biomass to energy because the surplus biomass available as per the ASCII report, which again supported by MNRE, where it is estimated that almost 228 million metric tons biomass is available, and which can be converted to generate energy of around 42 gigawatts. So there is a good potential. And so far, India has achieved around 11 gigawatt of energy. And mostly the contributor is from bagasse to bagasse cogeneration, and also from waste to energy and other those things. Also, it is contributing to 11 gigawatt. But there is a lot of potential, almost another 30 gigawatt we can achieve from these resources which are available within the country. There are three programs, three sub-schemes are available under this bioenergy program. One is waste to energy, another is biomass to power, and third one is biogas. My colleagues, Dr. Mishra, Mr. Shri Shahi, and Meena, they will be talking about these programs in detail. What is the CFA pattern? What are the guidelines? What are the eligibility criteria and those things? So I'll just touch upon these are the basic fundamental schemes which are available. Apart from Government of India's MNRE scheme, there are multiple schemes. Even R&D schemes are available. There are biomass aggregation schemes are available from different ministries, Ministry of Agriculture, then Ministry of MOPNG. So right now we are restricting to the bioenergy program, which is supported by MNRE, which we need to contribute and utilize, harness this potential, and where we need to have stakeholders participation, including farmers. So we need to get together, work together for betterment of India's climate and contributing to global clean energy scenario. Under waste to energy program, the agriculture and industrial waste is repurposed into clean energy solution, such as biogas, bio-CNG, which is again renamed as a compressed biogas, and also electricity. Not only does this provide the farmers benefit, economic benefit and alternative, but also supports India's renewable energy targets by contributing to decentralized energy systems. And in last 2 years, more than projects are supported under this program, mostly on CBG, that is bio-CNG, and biogas and biomass to power those things. Under biomass program, through the biomass power, there are three schemes are available. CFA pattern would be detailed again by Mr. Shahi here, where support is given for briquetting, pelletization, as well as cogeneration. So mostly biomass, this is a very logistic issues are there. So it is always better to densify the biomass and then it is transported. Again, there are multiple uses of these briquette and pellets. We have target of 5% blending in thermal power plant. Besides that, this can be used for generation of heat and steam by various uses. That another study is also being conducted by here from MNRE side, and we'll be launching that report shortly about why green heat and steam is useful. So basically, hard to abate industries and that sector, bioenergy is the only solution. This is what we feel at, and we should harness this potential to contribute that. See, therefore, the efforts through this program, biomass program, the efforts are being continued to create the value chain where farmers can earn revenue from selling stubble as well as fostering both environmental and economic benefits. Here, large range of biomass is considered. Apart from crop residue, we're also looking at rice husk, wood waste, and forest waste. So there are certain challenges are there, wear and tear because of paddy straw. So there again, we need to work on that, which are the best solution. And as per the calorific value, the pellets and briquetting, those get the rates. So those systems, cost, and again, biomass index, that is also important issue, which we can work together on that, those things. What are the challenges? Based on those things, the policies can be worked out. The third component is, which is also very important, that is a small biogas component, which is small as well as medium-sized biogas. Here, the focus is mostly on setting up a small size as well as medium size biogas plant. And mostly cow dung has been used, and this is sector is focused mostly on the rural areas where the beneficiaries are mostly having the cattles. If minimum 2 cattle are there, so they can basically, based on the requirement, availability of cow dung, the biogas plant can be set up. There are multiple training centers are also available. 8 BDTCs, biogas development training centers are there. Meena ji will talk about that thing in detail about the scheme and the training center, what are their roles, and I just want to say more than 52 lakh, 51 lakhs biogas, small biogas have already been set up by country as of now. And in last 2 years, more than 65,000 plants have been sanctioned. So you can see the volume which we are looking. So these are implemented by state agencies, whereas the biomass and waste energy program is implemented by IREDA. IREDA will talk about the other guidelines and how these processes are there, and also loan mechanism and those things are also be available to IREDA. So IREDA will talk about that and what is the potential in bioenergy. That also you can understand from the amount of loan. So basically, these schemes, ripple effect of these schemes are profound, and they tackle both pollution as well as empower farmers with alternate incomes and contribute to India's goal of achieving 500 gigawatt non-fossil energy by 2030. These schemes also align with national and global commitment to combat climate change under the Paris Agreement. Also, I would like to emphasize that to ensure success, the program relies on public and private sector partnership, and we need to foster that. So companies, cooperatives, startups, they are incentivized to set up energy plants, and significant amount of subsidies also provided under these schemes. We also need to have awareness program, and I'm thankful that IFGE that through this media, we are reaching to many various stakeholders, and but plus also we need to have training programs, how to write proposals, how to get those, how to reach to these portals. Many people are also not aware of this portal or online. So all these schemes are online portals are also developed. So these are very user friendly. So we are also going to have who are the developers, CPC, who can guide them. So those kind of information also we would be make it available on the website, so that if any startup or new entrepreneur would like to enter into this business, they can have these all assistance available on the website. So, gentlemen, the path forward requires all of us to take ownership. Let us recognize the crop residue. It's as a resource and not as a waste. And to reach grab cleaner and greener and economically prosperous India, we can contribute to that. Let us work together for sustainable development and for a circular and greener future. We can turn every challenge into opportunity, and we can push this bioenergy sector by increasing the share of in the overall clean energy basket, and we all can contribute towards a green and sustainable future. With this, I would pause here, and if there are any questions, we'd be happy. But my colleagues are already there, so they would be able to provide in detail information. Thank you so much once again to organizers and everyone, each one of you, for your patience listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sangita Kasturi ji. I think you have laid down the entire ambit within which the MNRE is operating, along with its arms like IREDA as well. And I'm quite sure the 3 members from MNRE will further, elucidate on the schemes which are currently there. I will take that through the panel discussion. But before I go further, I will just request the chairperson of BGAF, Shri Subodh Kumar ji is here, to just set a little context for what this broad overview today is about. I've already covered what other elements we'll cover in subsequent Vartas. And towards the end, there are 2 things which are going to happen. I'm going to request you to suggest what topic next would you as stakeholders want? Would you want to discuss post-harvest equipment or supply chain or warehousing? So you can put your suggestions there. We also have a WhatsApp broadcast channel where we'll start now sending a lot of information as we get from the concerned ministries or we see through our research, and we'll share with you. And we also then will have something like a polling for the next topic. So you'll be able to participate in selection of topics in the future as well. So over to Subodh Kumar ji, please.
Thank you, Colonel Saab. I must compliment and thank the team of Sangita ji, that the kind of policies they have brought in and the kind of connect they are creating. Few areas which generally are not covered in such kind of discussions and all, I'm just flagging those things. Because generally when we talk about the MNRE and we talk about the bio-based or these kind of feedstocks, we are talking about the agriculture waste or biomass and all those things. Something skips, something is left behind. And few things which I'm just trying to bring in, just few topics, just for the agitating the minds of the people who are present here and listening, and then we can talk about these things in details in the future vartas and all those things. One thing comes in my mind is that, see, the biomass is not only it converts to energy, but it also gets converted into various other feedstock of the industry. One such example I will tell you about you might have heard about the greening the steel production through the hydrogen route. Means for making the steel, you require coal. They generally use coal, but in place of the coal, people are suggesting let us use the green hydrogen. There is another thing which we can do, is that we can replace that coal by the biochar. The fixed carbon should be more than 70%, and that this can work on that. So biochar is produced from the whatever the biomass is available. It could be from the coconut shell, it could be the pine needle, it could be any other biomasses also. It requires some certain quality. Another industry which requires such kind of biochar is that the production of soda ash. They also require this kind of biochar. Now here, both the cases, it is not necessarily they go as a fuel, but they go as a, you can say, feedstock, part of the feedstock thing. Third thing which comes to our mind is that, see, everybody is talking about the green hydrogen production through the electrolysis route and other processes people are talking about. One very smart process is that gasification. The biomass gasification, we can gasify the biomass, convert that into syngas, separate the hydrogen from that. Carbon monoxide again can be converted through the water shift reaction to hydrogen. So all these things. So these are the few areas where the attention of, I'm just attracting the attention of the MNRE, because these things are not covered up in any other ministry. So we will have to do something in our MNRE only. So this is the point I just wanted to make it. Thank you very much, Colonel Rohit, for organizing this very, very good webinar series. Thank you.
Should I respond to you now or later?
Ma'am,
Because I will have to
entirely up to you, ma'am. If you want to respond,
okay,
you have the right.
Very quickly, I just touch upon those things. There are multiple usages, as Subodh, you have mentioned. So multiple applications are there for biomass, right from aviation fuel, hydrogen. I'm not talking about 2G ethanol. So multiple, even bio-based biorefineries. So even chemicals and materials also can be produced using this agriculture residue. But these are low-hanging fruits, bio-CBG, because these are established and some commercially viable. So some of the technologies like hydrogen, those have to be proven at scale. This is in future, we will look at that best option for the biomass. We can look at that both in terms of calorific value and the economics in terms of those things. So that can be worked later on. But as of now, these are the available policies, but we can consider definitely if those are not conflicting with the other ministries. Many other ministries are looking at, but liquid fuel part is taken care by MEMO PNG. So we are not talking about those things. But when you mention about the green hydrogen, definitely yes, under National Green Hydrogen Mission, biomass to hydrogen is also that. Again, those who want to look at that also available, which R&D schemes and other programs are there. Center of Excellence also, those announcements are already made. Charcoal, yes. The pelletization where the torrefied pellets, these are nothing but it's like torrefied is charcoal like. So though there are again multiple applications depending upon the requirement. These things can be, the processes can be developed and those can be marketed for various applications. So right now these are there is no flexibility, but later stage we can have flexibility in these terms. With the I'll stop here again. Syngas gasification, those are also technologies. We need to work on downstream processing, biogas to gasification up to biomass gasification, that is proven. Further, we need to work on those things. There are one or few companies are working on those things, but we need to look at the techno-economics of it. Thank you so much. I'll just pause here.
Thank you, Dr. Sangita Kasturi ji.
With your permission, if I leave, so because.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. जिससे पहले कि मैं मुहिम करूं इस डेलिब्रेशंस के ऊपर, दोबारा एक बार आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि ये सिर्फ एक शुरुआत, ब्रॉड ओवरव्यू टाइप वेबिनार है जिसमें आपके सजेशंस आर वेलकम, और आपके कुछ क्वेश्चंस जो आए हैं वो मैं लास्ट में रखूँगा अपने पैनलिस्ट के समक्ष। बट ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि जो हम आपसे शेयर कर रहे हैं, आपके पास लास्ट में जो हमारे कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स वो भी शेयर करेंगे। आप जिस टॉपिक पर चर्चा करना चाहते हैं, एंड कलेक्टिवली रूप से वो थोड़ा सक्षम टॉपिक भी होना चाहिए, तो उसको और उसके साथ जो भी मिनिस्ट्रियल कनेक्ट है या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट कनेक्ट है या गवर्नमेंट की या क्वाजी गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, हम उनको ला करके ये वेबिनार का संचालन करेंगे आपके लिए। अगर आप बोलते हैं कि आपको इश्यूज आ रहे हैं, मान लीजिए फाइनेंस में, तो हम उस टाइप का वेबिनार करेंगे। अगर आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रही है कोई एक पर्टिकुलर टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर, तो ग्लोबल प्लेयर्स को बुलाएंगे जो उसका प्रेजेंटेशन करेंगे और आप उनके साथ जुड़ सकते हैं। तो ज़्यादा समय ना लेकर अभी मैं रुक करूंगा अपना जो ये डेलिब्रेशन करना है आज उसके ऊपर। हमारे पास 5 पैनलिस्ट हैं। सबसे पहले मैं शुरू करूंगा गौरव जी के साथ, और मैं चाहूंगा कि जो एमएनआरई के तीनों डिवीजन को देखते हैं, गौरव जी, साई जी और मीना जी, इसी सीक्वेंस में पहले गौरव जी के साथ शुरू करते हैं। तो जो भी पॉलिसीज और एफर्ट्स एमएनआरई की हैं इस सेक्टर को आगे बढ़ाने की, जिसमें आप डायरेक्टली इन्वॉल्व हैं पॉलिसी एडवोकेसी में, स्कीम बनाने में, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि आप तीनों अपने डिवीजन या सेक्शन के बारे में उसकी चर्चा करें, और जो आज गेस्ट हैं और जो हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं इस सेक्टर के स्टेक होल्डर्स, उनको थोड़ा अवगत कराएं कि किस हिसाब से कौन सी स्कीम, कौन सी पॉलिसीज हैं। तो ये जो एक रिक्वायरमेंट है आप तीनों से है, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि पहले गौरव जी, फिर शाही जी और फिर बीना जी। गौरव जी, ओवर टू यू प्लीज। You can now unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Colonel Rohit Dev, Sanjay Ganjoo ji, and the complete team of IFGE for inviting us for this important the discussion forum, actually, because this is one of the area which is mostly left aside always, because the challenges it attracts, it's more important to be addressed at all forums. And more or less like the other sectors like solar or wind or hydro possibly as well. So they are more or less the streamlined sectors. So less of a challenges on the technical side or the management side. But wherein the biomass as such, if you see, there are a lot of challenges, because of which it needs of concerted efforts by all, be it from the policymakers or the developer part or the farmers or the associations like IFGE, who are playing a very important role for bringing all these the stakeholders at one single forum. And the bioenergy, if you see, like it actually needs this, as I mentioned, it needs a concerted effort to bring it to the mainstream, because the target which I think Dr. Sangita Kasture has said that as of now, we have achieved under the bioenergy sector around 11 gigawatt, and out of which around 10.3 gigawatt is from the biomass cogeneration side. And balance of it, it's actually from the waste to energy sector, primarily for the bio-CBG or from biomethylation to power or different applications, and small biogas plants or the biomass to other the power or thermal applications. So these are the collectively, if you see, so we have achieved so far 11 point something, 11.2 gigawatt as such. And the target which the ministry has taken for themselves is to touch upon by 2030, because ministry ka आप लोग, if you must be aware of, MNRE has a target of achieving 500 gigawatt by 2030, and out of which, like, we have achieved almost 212 gigawatt, and now almost 250 gigawatt are under pipeline or under some stage of a tendering process and all. So out of which, like, 11 gigawatt, as I mentioned, have already been achieved under the bioenergy segment, and the target for 2030 is 15 gigawatt, which is a daunting task as such, if you see, because we, as in the current policy of the National Bioenergy Program, which we are talking about, it does not cater to the biomass cogeneration application as such, which otherwise in earlier times has majorly contributed for, which is 10.3 gigawatt, as majorly contributed by the biomass cogeneration side. So that was the different the areas wherein the complete team of MNRE, be it myself, Shahi ji, Meena ji, and Vikas Upadhyay, and Pavitra, these are the small team who is working back and forth day and night to bring the forum or bioenergy as such, the complete area onto the mainstream of the national level. Now I'll give you a brief about what all falls under the waste to energy program, because as Madam has mentioned very clearly, that this program, the National Bioenergy Program, it started from, it was actually notified on November 2022, and this is valid till 25-26. So primarily for the 5 years kind of a program. So we have the program, the complete national got three main components. One is waste to energy, then biomass program, and then biogas program. So under the waste to energy, there are different subcomponents. So one is biogas generation. If any developer who wanted to generate, so primarily, the name of this waste to energy program is actually Program on Energy from Urban, Industrial and Agriculture Waste or Residues. So it is also referred as the waste to energy as a whole, if we are talking about. So objective is very clear. So we wanted to, because support setting up any developer who wants under the waste to energy projects for the generation of, be it biogas or bio-CBG or power or producer gas from different substrates through biomass gasification route. So this program or subcomponent of the National Bioenergy Program supports financially to these subcomponents actually. So I'll give you some numbers on how we are supporting, what kind of a CFA program we have, which is centrally financial assistance, which is being provided to all these subcomponents. So any developer who wanted to set up a biogas project, like which is above 2,500 cubic meter of plant, it actually falls under the waste to energy segment, subcomponent. So if it is for a thermal application, yes, around 25 lakhs or 0.25 crores per 12,000 cubic meter per day capacity of biogas plant, which is on specifically on the pro rata basis. So this kind of a financial support is being provided, and with a maximum cap of 5 crore per project. So that is for the biogas for any thermal application, if anyone who wanted to set up these kind of a biogas plants. That's one. Second, if any developer who wanted to go beyond biogas, they wanted to go for the bio-CBG sector, but they wanted to set a bio-CBG plant. So there are two different components of this particular bio-CBG sector. One, the developers who wanted to set up a new plant of a bio-CBG. So there is a financial support of around 4 crores per 4.8 TPD plant. So anyone who wanted to set up a biogas CBG plant, bio-CBG plant, अगर उनका plant की capacity 4.8 tons है, so we are per day, so we will be providing a financial support of 400 crores on the capital cost. That is one. And the maximum capacity, the cap for this financial support is 10 crores per project. So which means अगर उनका project की capacity 12 ton CBG का plant को generate करके है और and above, So at 12 ton becomes our break-even point, wherein we are supporting this, the financial support, which is maximum cap is 10 crores in that case. So उसी में ही further दूसरा component है anyone who wanted to go for the expansion of the plants, which is अगर उनका कोई डाइजेस्टर है, उनके बाद उसको नया डाइजेस्टर लगाना है या कुछ उसको सेटअप करना है, तो we provide a financial support of 3 crores per 4.8 ton kind of the plant in as such in that case. So after this, so this was all about the bio CBG sector or the enriched biogas you can see. Say then if anyone who wanted to set up a biogas based power generation plant. So because the application could be different. So anyone who wanted to set up a biogas based power generation plant, there is the financial which we are providing of a 75 lakhs, which is 0.75 crores per megawatt of a capacity of the output capacity what we are talking about, with a maximum cap of 5 crore per plant in that case. If this is for the new plant, anyone who wanted to set up or kind of set up a kind of an expansion related plant of this biogas to power, they will be eligible to get 50 lakh per megawatt of the output capacity in that case. So this is if anyone who wanted to go for the power generation from the biogas side. Similarly, there is, as I mentioned earlier very clearly, this program focuses on other aspects of complete the under waste to energy. It takes care of the agriculture residue. It takes care of the urban or industrial waste as well. So if anyone who wanted to set up apart from MSW, we are not considering MSW to power in this program. If anything, if any developer who wanted to set up a power application or power plant other than MSW, it falls under our, be it agriculture residue or industrial waste or something, it falls under our, they become eligible for financial support from our scheme and all. Or the maximum support which we are talking about is 40 lakhs per megawatt for the power output in that case. With the maximum CFA जो capping है, वो भी, that's also again 5 crore per project in that case. So this is on the power side, which is primarily on the incineration base or the combustion route, if anyone wanted to follow. That's one. Then the fifth, the subcomponent of this waste to energy is what talk about the biomass gasification. So as Subodh ji actually talked about biomass gasification for the hydrogen side. So we we wanted to update you everyone. We are not stopping anyone to go for a hydrogen production from the biomass gasification side. What we are talking about, anyone who wanted to set up a industrial waste based, agro-residue waste biomass gasification plant for thermal application or for the power application, we are supporting it. So after thermal application, if they wanted to utilize this, any XYZ application, be it for hydrogen production or from the, if they tune their gasifier for some other application and all, they can absolutely go for that. So they are free to take up this kind of further application from the biomass gasification side in that case. So there are, so these are the different the programs or subcomponents which are actually covered under waste to energy segment. So this is also, I wanted to like bring it to your knowledge, because there are few of the special, I should say, states, northeastern states or Gaushalas which are actually registered. They are entitled or they are actually eligible for 20% than what I have actually mentioned in that case. So these are the few things which I thought under the scheme I should bring it to your knowledge. And if there are any questions related to this or any clarification which anyone who wanted to understand. So I just wanted to add in one more thing over here. So any developer who wanted to apply for the CFA, there is a one Bio Urja portal. So they have to apply first on that portal. So with the complete set of documentation part on that. And once that is done, if there is no further iteration or the documentation part is lagging, so that goes to the PSC and the complete documentation after the PSC approval. it comes to MNRE, and then further for the CFA, initially it is given a sanction, and then once जो CFA जो eligible है, जो eligible CFA बनता है, this is actually given against the output what we are talking about. If suppose if anyone who wanted, as the current waste to energy policy, what it says, anyone who have set up, for example, 10 tons of bio. So current policy says कि जब तक उनका 80% of the rated capacity उनका आता है, तो 80% के basis पे we give 100% of the eligible CFA to them. So these are the different things which probably during the course of a discussion, if there are any questions related to this, we will be more than happy to address your queries and all. And if suppose if later stages also you can divert your questions via IFGE, we will be more than happy to answer or take question or suggestions as well. We are open for that actually.
Thank
so
you.
Over to Colonel Rohit Dev in that case. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gaurav ji. So we are in the mode of today taking some sessions towards the end. Questions can come through IFGE compiled to you, and then we can take out a small booklet with the answers, with the correct scheme and the links provided to all the individuals, and we can share through our portal with everybody. So there was a small query from a handle called Teja, and wanted to know about the research and development kind of scheme. So that has been duly flagged by Meena ji. He has given that link so they can read that. So without much ado, I'll now go to Shahi ji and request you to cover your part the way Gaurav ji has covered. So over to you, Shahi ji.
Hello.
Ji sir, you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, IFG, and especially Rohit Dev ji for giving me or our ministry this opportunity to interact with all the stakeholders. I'm really happy to see that there are more than 100 participants. So it's great. Through this webinar, we are able to connect with so many people. So really good initiative. Thank you so much. And in the context that stubble burning, you can see with the type of climate, the weather condition that we are experiencing here in Delhi NCR. So in this context, this webinar has really become really important. And we need to deliberate more on this stubble burning thing. Of course, we have schemes which are supporting the use of surplus biomass. And the issue, of course, cannot be handled just by a ministry. All stakeholders have to come together. It's effort of everyone is needed in this, especially our brothers, our farmers. Their effort, their indulgence, how to reduce it, how the severity of the paddy stubble burning can be reduced. And coming back to our scheme, Gaurav Mishra already has informed that within the National Bioenergy Program, we have also a component on biomass program. Biomass program has again components. Here we provide CFA for briquettes, pallets, and biomass non-bagasse cogeneration. So earlier the CFA for both briquette and pellet was the same. It was 9 lakhs per MTPH. But now recently we have enhanced it, and now the CFA is 21 lakhs for the non-torrefied, and course, there is a cap. And for biomass cogeneration, it is for non-biomass based cogeneration, it is 40 lakhs per megawatt, limited to 5 crores per project. So this is the these are the subsidy schemes which the developers can avail, and they can avail it through the BioUrja portal. Of course, right now there is a ticker that applications which will be submitted after 10/10/2014 will be considered subject to availability of funds from the government. However, there has been an overwhelming response by all the stakeholders, and the funds that were for till 2026 has already been exhausted in terms of application that we have received. So the response has been overwhelming, and the sector is going to grow. Like pellet, the demand of pellet is going to increase. The government has mandated that the thermal power plants need to co-fire. Now it is 5%, but it's going to increase. And the availability, in terms of availability, the need is something around. There is a gap. Still, the amount of pellets that are available and the requirement going by say it's 5% mandated, but still the thermal power plants are not able to achieve 5%. They are at a level, say 3%. But even now, there is a gap between the pellet availability and the requirement. So this sector, pelletization, both torrefied and non-torrefied sector, has a huge, I mean, it's going to grow. The demand is going to grow, and we need more of developers coming into this sector. Hello, am I audible? There's something here.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes.
Yeah. So all the stakeholders, the ministry cannot do it alone. All the stakeholders have to come together. We need to put up plans whereby we can use more of the surplus biomass. That is the main objective. What all things that maybe the ministry is not doing all the things, the stakeholders can suggest what more the ministry need or what type of schemes the ministry need to bring in, so that the surplus biomass is not burned. Now it is used properly in some sort of hello.
Haji sir, you're audible, sir.
You're
Just
audible.
No
Please go ahead.
Just no problem.
Here it's showing some red mark is showing on the microphone, so I thought maybe. So the main our objective has to be at this point of time how to reduce the paddy straw burning. Stubble burning has to be reduced, and for that, if required, you can suggest what more the ministry can do. We are here to listen from you. And again, coming back to the scheme, while applying most of them, we have seen that the applicants, they makes the most common in most of the application is that there is a mismatch between the. I guess there are many developers who are applying or who have already applied or on the verge of applying. For them, I would like to mention that most of the developers, while applying, the most common mistake that they do is there is a mismatch between the capacity mentioned in the application, the DPR, and the TEF or Techno-Economic Feasibility Report. So care should be taken that the same capacity is mentioned at all the places. Then the unit capacity again varies. Like somewhere it's written one plant of such capacity. In some at some places written two units of such capacity. So these are the common mistakes that they do. Then sometimes forget to put the stamp, which is again mentioned in the scheme that the undertaking has to be stamped, signed and stamped by the developer. The other thing is that there is mostly notice that there is variation in the project cost. The loan sanction letter has a different value. The application shows a different value. And the DPR again has a different value. Of course, DPR, if we suppose don't take into account, but it's still a loan application, loan sanction letter, and the application should have the same amount. What has been sanctioned? So these are the common mistakes. Maybe our friends who are here, they must be listening, and this is they can educate their fellow applicants also, that they can take care that these common mistakes are not there, because it takes again on us also. We have to go again and again through the applications and recheck, open the log. This whole thing takes time and energy. So if we get applications which are correct in all forms, the time taken is reduced. And yes, this is all about the scheme. And now I would like to, maybe right now or after, later on, there may be.
We'll come to the suggestions and questions later, Shahi ji. So thank you for that. अभी हम रुक करेंगे मीना जी की तरफ. मीना जी, अगर आप थोड़ा डिटेल में बताएं. आपने काफ़ी लिंक्स ऑलरेडी डाल दिए हैं स्टेक होल्डर्स के पढ़ने के लिए. तो ओवर टू यू मीना जी टू टेक एड योर कॉन्वर्सेशन. थैंक यू.
Meena ji, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah. सर आवाज सुनाई दे रही है सर?
जी.
Okay, sir. So I will cover the third scheme. That is a small scheme, but it started with the naming of the ministry, right, from 1980s. So if you have less amount of waste, which not meeting out the criteria of the waste to energy, then you should choose the biogas program. Initially, the biogas program started from 1 cubic meter to 6 cubic meter. That is suitable for individual household, basically for clean cooking or that. But now we increase this scheme scope from 1 cubic meter to 2,500 cubic meter biogas generation capacity. So I think you most of the aware about the small biogas program in India. We are supporting for individual household biogas plant, but we later on, since year 2012 onward, we include the medium size biogas off-grid solution that is very suitable for poultry, dairy, goshala, and food processing units. And ministry is supporting more than 50 or projects. So in that, beside the central financial assistance for the beneficiary, we are providing the supervision charges, training charges, training supports, and the construction charges. That's why the program is very successful. In 2018, we have had a survey of 11 states. The functionality rate is more than 96%. People are talking that biogas plant is not working. Actually, nowadays the technology is mature. I'm glad to inform that ministry involved not only the cement concrete biogas plant, we included 6 designs. So within 1 hour, you can install the small biogas plant. Very, handy biogas plant, portable biogas plant also we cover under the scheme. And similarly, we also include the additional subsidy for biogas filter, slurry filter unit. So farmer can more utilize that byproduct for agriculture point of view. So the small biogas plant is basically where farmer having at least 2 to 3 animals. So that is very good for rural clean cooking. As I want to inform here that due to indoor air pollution, in India, 1.6 million deaths occur as per the WHO, World Health Organization data. So that is more than corona. So the biogas plant is very successful for particularly in rural areas. And as I said, the medium-sized project, which very suitable for poultry, dairy. So if entrepreneur or investor are keen to submit their proposal, then I think this medium-sized plant is very good. And we have increased the subsidy also. And according to the demand, we cater the scheme for power generation and heating and thermal cooling applications. And for we have 8 BDTCs. They can help you. And we made the scheme in such a way that beneficiary can apply their application not only through a single state agency. We have multiple agencies. For example, a small Uttarakhand state where 2 agency, state level agency, and beside these 2 state implementing agency, we have 4 national level implementing agency. You submit your proposal through them, like NDDB, KVIC, Amul Dairy, and Biogas Training Center also. And in medium size, if you go through the scheme documents, there are less approval needed. There is no much more, clearance or approvals are required. And that's why I can say this is good project for decentralized application. And I want to inform here that a single 2 cubic biogas plant can generate 30,000 rupees amount equivalent the NPK values and 10.2 ton the biogas slurry, which containing more than 30% moisture. So that is qualitative and quantitative very good for agriculture purpose. And so I want to say here that the biogas is very suitable for clean cooking and for not only managing the waste, but also for sustainable agriculture. And as per the, our geographical conditions, we divide the subsidy, incremental subsidy for northeastern or ST/SC categories beneficiaries. And so with the, improvement of the scheme, it may be online biogas portal or advance release of fund, new biogas design, considering into the scheme, or training parts, various biogas trainings. So all component make this biogas program is very useful, and the success rate is more than 95%. So I am happy to share the developmental story of the biogas. So if you having a farmer or a beneficiary who if animals, you please try to apply their application, then only you can realize the update in the biogas program. Lot of change now we consider in the biogas program. And so when you apply, then you will find the subsidy. The subsidy start from 9,800 to 70,000 as per the size of the biogas plant. So I think all these components you will find in the scheme, and I place the biogas portal detail here. So when you go through it, then you will find the details. But once I want to say here, the small biogas plant is very good program for rural decentralized the clean cooking to reduce the indoor air pollution and additional income of the farmer. So I think that is very good scheme. So at least every participant, if try to apply, not only for yourself but nearby your neighbors or relative or who have the animals or who having the nearby the goshala and poultry farm, then only you realize the really benefits of biogas program. Once again, I want to say that a entrepreneur who has less amount of waste, because in bioenergy project to run the plant round the year, availability is a major issue. So I think you start with a medium sized biogas plant where less clearances or applications required, and easily you get sanction order and subsidy, and running rate is very successful. So thank you all to giving me opportunity about the biogas program.
Thank you, Meena ji. So we'll now go to NIBE. Dr. Sachin is here. Dr. Sachin, over to you to tell everybody what is the role play of NIBE in what policies and schemes are being made by MNRE, and what else is NIBE doing. So that broader understanding of your role play should be also clear, that you are also directly involved as a quasi-governmental agency in support of the schemes of MNRE. So please go ahead, Dr. Sachin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, IFGE, for inviting me, especially Sanjay sir, Rohit sir, and Miss Anamika. And sorry, मेरा वीडियो काम नहीं कर रहा है, तो मैं वीडियो नहीं ऑन कर पाऊंगा अपना.
That's okay.
जी, जैसा कि आप देख रहे हैं, इसका जो टाइटल है वेबिनार का, दैट इज चैलेंजेस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज. तो हम सभी जानते हैं कि वी आर बायोमास रिच कंट्री. अगर देखें हमारा एग्रीकल्चर, वी आर मेनली एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड है वी हैव, तो उससे जो भी रेजिड्यूज जनरेट होते हैं. सो अभी जैसे शाही सर ने भी बोला कि दिल्ली में जो पॉल्यूशन है, या मेनली जो रेजिड्यू का मैनेजमेंट है, दैट इज लाइक वी हैव टू लुक फॉर. सो अगर बायो एनर्जी की बात करते हैं हम, तो वी कैन रिजॉल्व बोथ द इश्यूज. एक तो है बायोमास मैनेजमेंट, that we can do proper, and second one is we are getting the commodity where we can replace the fossil fuels. Mainly अगर हम बायो एनर्जी में बात करते हैं, तो हमारे पास पैलेट्स ब्रिकेट्स हम ले सकते हैं. हमारे पास इन द फॉर्म ऑफ गैसेस वी कैन प्रोड्यूस बायोगैस, बायोहाइड्रोजन. अगर हम लिक्विड फ्यूल की बात करते हैं, जैसा संजय सर ने भी बोला था, जो स्कीम्स हैं गवर्नमेंट की, लाइक 2G इथेनॉल, which can be blended with the petrol. Bio diesel है जो, that is the replacement for the diesel one. So अगर हम देखें तो बायोमास का उस डिफरेंट फील्ड्स में हम एप्लीकेशन दे सकते हैं. अब बात आती है हमारा डिफरेंट यूजेस इसका. जस्ट अ मिनट. Yeah, I was talking about when we utilize it, what challenges we face. तो पहला challenge which we face, just give me a minute. Hello. मैंने मीटिंग में बाद में बात करता हूँ. Sorry, I was getting a frequent call from that same number. सो हम चैलेंजेस की बात करते हैं, तो उसमें जैसे सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट एक इशू है, जिसमें हम बायोमास की डेंसिटी कम होने की वजह से अगर हम ज़्यादा ट्रैवल या डिस्टेंस उसको ट्रैवल करते हैं बायोमास को लेके, देन दैट मे नॉट बी फिजिबल इकोनॉमिकली भी, और आपका फ्यूल कंजम्पशन ऑल, आई मीन वो आपका निगेटिव इम्पैक्ट देता है. तो पहला काम जो हम कर सकते हैं, दैट कि हमें उसको डिसेंट्रलाइज वे में इन चीज़ों को यूज़ करना है. मैंने इंडिया में अभी जो कुछ प्लांट्स आ रहे हैं कि बहुत ज़्यादा कैपेसिटी के हैं, तो मेरा रिकमेंडेशन यही होगा कि वो अवॉइड होने चाहिए. चाहे आप डिफरेंट लोकेशंस पे, बेस्ड ऑन द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ बायोमास, दैट कैन बी इंस्टॉल्ड. आई मीन इन दैट वे इफ यू यूज द बायोमास. मैं बाद में बात करता हूँ क्या है. ओके, वो ले लो उनसे. अभी मेरे पास, मैं अभी एक मीटिंग में हूँ, मैं फिर से. सॉरी. तो उसमें हमें, मेरा रिकमेंडेशन है कि हम डिसेंट्रलाइज वे में चलें. दूसरा आता है कलेक्शन, बेलिंग, स्टोरेज. स्टोरेज इज अगेन द बिग इशू. अगर हम मोनोडाइजेशन या मोनो यूटिलाइजेशन करते हैं, यानी एक फीड स्टॉक को लेके चलते हैं, देन अगेन हमें इशू आता है. जैसे अगर मैं पैडी स्ट्रॉ की बात करता हूँ, तो दैट इज अवेलेबल फॉर 2 to 3 months ओनली. बट इफ यू हैव टू यूटिलाइज इट फॉर होल ईयर, बिकॉज यू हैव टू रन योर प्लान थ्रू आउट द ईयर, so for that you have to have storage facility. So nowadays aggregators have come, so who take care of your feedstock availability. Even they can provide you on daily basis as well, but again that is based on the policy or agreement which you have to make with them. So that is one concern. Then second one comes like handling and pre-processing. So in handling, like if we utilize suppose for biogas production or even for the palletization or briquetting, then you have to reduce the size first. Okay, so again reduction needs the power. So if you reduce, I mean that's again to be optimized. अगर हम उसको ज्यादा साइज रिड्यूस कर देंगे तो हमें ज्यादा पावर कंजम्पशन होगा, अगेन हमें एनर्जी रिकवरी कम मिलेगी. सो दैट इज वन कंसर्न, लाइक वी हैव टू यूज सिस्टम्स विच आर आई मीन इफिशिएंट, और साइज रिडक्शन एक लिमिट तक ही करना है. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमको बिल्कुल पाउडर बना देना है, या दैट अगेन डिपेंड्स ऑन योर टेक्नोलॉजी. देन इसमें आता है आपका फिर हम जैसे मिक्सिंग वगैरह करते हैं या आगे के प्रोसेस में जाते हैं, तो उसमें जैसे मैं एक एग्जांपल लेता हूँ बायोगैस का. तो बायोगैस में डाइजेशन, अगेन यहाँ पे डिजाइन का एक फैक्टर आता है. अच्छा, डाइजेशन से पहले कुछ लोग प्री प्रोसेसिंग या प्री डाइजेशन का भी ये ऑप्शन रखता है. तो वो एक एडिशनल पार्ट है जहां हमें कोई भी मे बी एंजाइम हो सकता है या कुछ बैक्टीरियल कल्चर हो सकता है जो दैट पीपल यूज. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड बेसिकली प्री ट्रीटमेंट. सम पीपल आर यूजिंग कुछ केमिकल बेस्ड प्री ट्रीटमेंट भी दे रहे हैं. एक ये ऑप्शन है जिसे हम जो बायोगैस की यील्ड है या जो उसका टाइम रिक्वायर्ड है दैट कैन बी रिड्यूस्ड. फिर डाइजेशन, फिर आता है एक मिक्सिंग. So in the digestion or digesters, mixing or that agitators are being used. So we have to ensure कि हमारा मिक्सिंग प्रॉपरली हो रहा है, अदरवाइज मास ट्रांसफर इज द बिगेस्ट इशू. और मास ट्रांसफर अगर आपका प्रॉपर नहीं होता है तो उससे आपका एचआरटी बढ़ जाता है, जो टाइम रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द डाइजेशन. सो ये सब चीजें, ये दैट इज अगेन पार्ट ऑफ द डिजाइन. तो जो टेक्नोलॉजी हम ले रहे हैं दैट वी नीड टू टेक केयर कि हमने कॉमर्शियल स्केल पे प्लांट लगा दिया, और अगर हमें जो मैक्सिमम मिनिमम हमें 80% ऑफ द जो प्लांट कैपेसिटी हमने डिसाइड किया है वो गैस प्रोडक्शन हमें होना चाहिए, दैट वी नीड टू इंश्योर. तो क्या होता है, जो टेक्नोलॉजी अगर हमने प्रूवन नहीं की है एट स्केल, तो वो हमें बाद में इश्यू आता है. तो प्लांट सेटअप करने से पहले ये सब कुछ चीजें हैं जो ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए. फिर आता है जैसे डाइजेशन के बाद में जब गैस प्रोडक्शन हो गया तो फिर हम देखते हैं प्यूरिफिकेशन का. प्यूरिफिकेशन में एक तो कॉस्ट फैक्टर है जो हम सिलेक्शन ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी करते हैं, तो उसमें एक तो कॉस्ट, आई मीन जैसे अगर हम मेम्ब्रेन टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करते हैं तो उसमें कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा आता है सेटअप का, लेकिन यू विल गेट हाईएस्ट प्योरिटी गैस and in surety there will be no slippage of methane. But some of the technologies जिनमें slippage of methane है, but people have further improved it by adding some another unit where they can reduce the slippage. तो वो ये भी हमें ध्यान रखना है. एक्चुअली हमारा जो मेन मकसद बायोमास को यूज करने का है कि हम ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस को रिड्यूस करें. बट अगर हम मीथेन को ही रिलीज कर रहे हैं CO2 के साथ में एनवायरनमेंट में, तो इससे दो नुकसान हैं. एक तो हमारा प्रोडक्शन पे इफेक्ट पड़ेगा, दूसरा एनवायरनमेंट में रिलीज हो रहा है तो एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट भी पड़ेगा, क्योंकि फिर कोई फायदा नहीं होगा चाहे हम गैस जला लें, बायोमास को जला दें या फिर मीथेन को रिलीज कर दें. इसके बाद आता है जो मेनली देखें फीड स्टॉक अवेलेबल है, पैडी स्ट्रॉ है. आजकल लोग नेपियर ग्रास में इंटरेस्टेड हैं, बट टू बी फ्रैंक आई एम नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ नेपियर ग्रास, बिकॉज अगर आप नेपियर ग्रास पे जाते हैं तो या यू विल गेट द बायोमास इफिशिएंटली, लाइक नाउ इट इज नेपियर ग्रास, सुपर नेपियर ग्रास इज कमिंग. उसका प्रोडक्शन है वो अच्छा है, मीन्स थ्रू आउट द ईयर आपको मिलेगा, लेकिन इससे हमें दूसरी कमोडिटी नहीं मिलेगी. हम सिर्फ गैस ले पाएंगे या फिर डाइजेस्टेड स्लरी आएगा एज ए बायो फर्टिलाइजर, वो दैट अगेन यू कैन यूज इन द फार्मिंग ऑफ नेपियर ग्रास. तो सेकंड कमोडिटी हमें नहीं मिल पा रहा है. तो इससे बेटर है कि हम क्रॉप रेसिड्यू को का सिलेक्शन करें, उसके लिए जाएं। अगर हम पैलेटाइजेशन या उसमें बात करते हैं, जैसे पैडी स्ट्रॉ का ही अगर हम पैलेटाइजेशन करें, तो जो पावर प्लांट्स हैं, दे नीड ए सर्टेन लिमिट ऑफ कैलोरीफिक वैल्यू ऑफ दैट पैलेट। बीइंग लेस कैलोरीफिक वैल्यू ऑफ पैडी स्ट्रॉ, फिर दैट इज अगेन इशू। अगर आप देखेंगे पंजाब में या और हरियाणा स्टेट जैसे हैं, तो एक साथ आपको पूरा पैडी स्ट्रॉ का क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन मिलेगा। तो उसमें एक इशू आता है कि अगर आप एक से ज्यादा फीड स्टॉक का ऑप्शन रखें या कोई और कमोडिटी रखें, तो उसकी अवेलेबिलिटी का भी इशू है। दूसरा इशू जैसे पैडी स्ट्रॉ में है, जिसमें ऐश कंटेंट ज्यादा है या सिलिका है, सो दैट अगेन क्रिएट इशू इन द कंबशन। तो को प्रोडक्ट और को फीड स्टॉक के लिए हमें अल्टरनेटिव देखना पड़ेगा। वो मे बी अगर आप एमएसडब्ल्यू भी मिक्स करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि आजकल आई मीन एनटीपीसी और ये मिशन इनोवेशन, ये आई मीन मेनली पावर प्लांट, they are accepting MSW based pellets also. एक ये है। Now come to the research which we are doing here at the NIBE. So considering all these drawbacks and challenges, we are working on biogas production, where we have developed a process. So our target is to increase the biogas yield from the particular biomass, how much maximum biogas we can achieve. दूसरा है हमें HRT और टाइम रिक्वायर्ड टू डाइजेस्ट, बिकॉज इफ यू सी द साइज ऑफ द डाइजेस्टर डिपेंड्स ऑन द आई मीन HRT। सो अगर जितना HRT ज्यादा होगा, उतना साइज आपका डाइजेस्टर का ज्यादा होगा, तो आपका सेटअप कॉस्ट बढ़ेगा। तो हमने ये दो चीजों को टारगेट किया है, जिसमें हमें वी कुड अचीव द गुड रिजल्ट्स, वेयर वी हैव यूज्ड पैडी स्ट्रॉ, नेपियर ग्रास एंड अदर क्रॉप रेसिड्यूज। Second one which we are working, that I mean on pellets and briquettes also we are working. Then biorefinery concept is another one where we can utilize biomass efficiently. So 2G ethanol, that is one, but 2G ethanol utilize only maybe like cellulose or part of hemicellulose, but lignin is the major content, I mean maybe second largest content in the biomass. So that is again can be utilized to produce some products. So they are also again demanding in the market. So like if you compare with the conventional refinery, like crude oil based जो refinery है, इसकी तरह से हम बायो रिफाइनरी को भी डेवलप कर सकते हैं, जिससे एक प्रोडक्ट नहीं, हमें मल्टीपल प्रोडक्ट्स मिलेंगे। तो क्या होता है, अगर हम एक प्रोडक्ट के लिए जाते हैं, तो वो हमारे लिए इकोनॉमिकली फिजिबल नहीं हो सकता है। सो देन वी ट्राई टू एक्सट्रैक्ट मल्टीपल प्रोडक्ट्स टू मेक our technology zero waste refinery or biorefinery. So in that way, our institute is working. We are also working utilization of biomass to hydrogen, where we are integrating photo fermentation and dark fermentation followed by anaerobic digestion. So in that way we are working. If anyone needed assistance, that may be on technology side or research side, that we will support. And we are creating the lab facility for biomass testing and characterization, biogas and biofertilizer testing, and soon we will have the NABL accredited as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sachin ji. So I will now go back to Gaurav ji and the MNRE team. And not all, anybody can take this on. And basically, हम क्या चाह रहे हैं कि आप हमारे समक्ष ये बताएं।
जनरल साहब, आई थिंक डॉक्टर राजपूत इज आल्सो देयर ना?
No, I think he's with somebody. I think CMD has called them for a meeting. So while he's here, he's actually in that meeting. No, so I've just told him that whenever he's available. I think Animeka ji, you can call him and check if he's available after 15-20 minutes. We'll go back to him. But the major observations which you see when somebody is filing for the CFA schemes of the three kinds, what kind of observations at MNRE you see while scrutinizing that? And second is, what kind of feedback you have from the environment based on various committees, that what is the status of these projects and what's your feeling about them? So I think Gaurav ji, we can start with you, and then Shahi ji and Meena ji can give their inputs as well.
Thank you, Rohit ji.
जी
See, for the applications which we are actually receiving, it primarily after seeing the application, it feels like these are more or less prepared by some kind of a consultant who has a similar kind of an application setup, and they have been like doing all these applications and all. What I'm trying to make every developer or all the participants who are listening to this one. See, this is if you by yourself, if you can see the Biourja portal or biogas portal, there are not much of a detailed documentation part which is needed. So basic things are needed. So I think you can ask someone from your team. They can be like upgraded to that level, and they can submit from by themselves as well. That is also another
श्योर
that. So applying for these kind of CFA programs and all, be irrespective of the subcomponent which you are talking about, whether it waste to energy or biomass or the biogas side. I think the kind of the one-stop the support which we are providing through these portals and also all the details which we actually are needed for the application, it's already clearly mentioned over there, and it becomes easy. And wherever, if suppose there are any issues, they can reach back to us for sure. We are always there.
जी
Right.
I think that's fine. So your thing is that there is similarity in the errors which is happening,
Correct.
and people need to understand the site. And probably while I was pondering over the next topic for the webinar, so I put three things there. So it also includes the schemes, also includes the supply chain part, and one more topic. So let's see at the end of it what is gaining prominence. So in a sequence of occurrence, we'll take those three topics one by one in the BGAF VAARTA, and then we will graduate from there to the Satat scheme with MOPNG and MNRE both, and
Correct.
then we'll go to finance. So we'll take it step by step. Anything to add, Sai and Meena ji, in terms of what you have observed? किस टाइप की गलतियां हो रही हैं in terms of applying for these schemes? Sai ji can go first and Meena ji next, or whichever order, please. I think you both are muted, Sai ji and Meena ji. You need to unmute yourself. हाँ जी मीना जी, तो मैं पूछ रहा था कि किस टाइप की गलतियां और कमियां दिख रही हैं जो एप्लीकेशंस आ रहे हैं उसमें। तो एक दो चीज की अगर आप व्याख्या कर दें कि जो मेजर एरर्स हैं, तो थोड़ी सहूलियत होगी लोगों को जानने के लिए। मीना जी प्लीज, फ्लोर इज योर्स, आप बोलिए
हाँ
प्लीज।
यस सर, एक्चुअली बायोगैस में तो ऐसा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन बायोमास में हो सकता है थोड़ा वो डिटेल ऑफ मशीनरी उनका थोड़ा सा वो कम डिटेल जानकारी दे पाते हैं।
जी, और कोई समस्या आ रही है कि इतना ही है, मतलब डिटेलिंग ऑफ मशीनरी?
हाँ, डिटेल ऑफ मशीनरी का ज्यादा इशू आता है बायोमास पैलेट ब्रिकेट वाला में, क्योंकि
जी
उसमें जो पैलेट की सब्सिडी ब्रिकेट की कम है, और कई डेवलपर्स एक ऐसी मशीन यूज करते हैं जो दोनों के लिए फिट रहती है, तो समटाइम उसमें थोड़ा सा इसमें प्रॉब्लम होती है कि पर्टिकुलरली मशीन किस पर्पज के लिए आपने प्रोक्योर की है, क्योंकि दोनों में सब्सिडी का स्लैब अलग अलग है।
जी जी,
तो इस तरह के छोटे छोटे इशू हो जाए।
कर्नल साहब, एक क्वेश्चन मैं रखना चाहता था, इफ यू अलाउ मी।
हाँ जी सर, जरूर।
मेरा ये पूछना था, एनी ऑफ द पैनलिस्ट कैन मे बी आंसर दैट। अभी मोस्टली जब आपने स्कीम्स के बारे में कहा, तो most of the schemes are directed towards the plant operators, those who operate or those who set up these plants for CBG, waste to energy or biomass. तो aggregators, क्योंकि सभी biomass biofuel companies, they have an issue with respect to biofuel, feedstock. तो For aggregation, is there any scheme for aggregators? Is there any support or financial assistance to aggregators who can come forward to address such issues?
Sir, from MNRE, we don't have anything for the aggregator right now. But of course, Ministry of Agriculture and even MOPNG, they have some support.
PNG तो हाँ, they have announced this. उसके लिए हमने ही, in fact, IFGE had played an important role, to get this. But that caters to only the CBG plants. मैं कह रहा था कि जो multiple plants के लिए काम कर सके, not only for CBG, they can cater to any biofuel plant, provided they are given some subsidy on maybe procurement of machines or maybe some management expenses or operating expenses, if they get some subsidy on that. In fact, we have one of the panelists, we have one of the participants here, I don't know whether he is still there, Mr. Varun Karad, he has invested big way in aggregation. So, उसके लिए कोई scheme का...
Thank you so much for pointing out. Just I would like to say one thing that you correctly pointed out, sir, that the current subsidy is either only for farmers, individual level, or very small entrepreneurs, or it can be for CBG developers. But what the sector is missing or lacking is a supply chain kind of a scheme for aggregators who
Absolutely
are investing in large scale machinery, because we are investing in machinery and we are finding it difficult day by day to ensure that the project remains profitable. So we would love to have an understanding if there is any scheme, or can we push a scheme like this in the future. Thanks.
Yeah, Varunji or Sanjay, if you allow me to answer this, because we do very well understand the importance of biomass aggregation actually. So the concept of biomass bank, probably we have just started evaluating it, because few of the organizations, they have set up these kind of biomass banks wherein they procure or they bring the nearby farmers into one. They get associated with them, they procure it, the biomass from themselves, then they aggregate it, and then they provide the supplying medium for the nearby bio CBG plants or other plants as such. So yes, so as of now, as mentioned, there is no financial subsidy, but that can be taken up separately probably, because that is the kind of a need of an hour which should also be taken care in that case.
मेरा उसमें निवेदन इतना ही था डॉक्टर साहब, there are multiple issues with different companies and different segments. So I think you need to derive at a lowest quotient denominator where we understand where an aggregator can operate in all those multiple type of situations or multiple requirements.
संजय सर, ये जो है इसकी मुहिम MNRE में शुरू हो गई है. There was a committee and Dr. YB Ramakrishna is here. He's aware also. So I think let it fructify a bit before we, MNRE is able to disclose some contours by the next budget. I think it will take its own course. So this is a point which IFGE, BGAF and other stakeholders have been saying for a few years. It has been very comprehensively suggested. We will refine that. And I think in that, the aggregator, schemes pertaining to the business value and also who needs it, because all schemes cannot be taken away by big corporations and companies. So there is a talk there. So let's wait for MNRE to build the contour around it, and before they are able to announce after due consideration of the DOE and others as well. So I think that will take time. So I think we are a little okay with time. So we have nearly 30 minutes. There was something which I wanted to ask, but I will stop it there. And I will first come out with what we have received through the stakeholders. So there are 3 suggestions besides what we saw today on the chat box. One is need for integration of stakeholders on one platform. So while there are multiple platforms, there are multiple ministries. I think it's a suggestion which is not only well taken at the IFG level to lead the entire energy transition with various chapters we have. It is also a case that the government also is looking at some kind of interministerial coordination, which is currently, I will not say missing because they do consult, but the frequency and the outputs from therein are something which need to be conveyed through to the stakeholders as well. Somebody can mute everybody, please. Please mute yourselves. The second is also to ideate upon various recycling methods for all green energy components which come into all value chains. This was a suggestion we have received. We will specifically probably tag a webinar on this to get new minds, entrepreneurs, and young minds to talk what needs to be done, and then we can collate this. And last point which came, which also is the start point of this BGAF Varta, is that biomass sector is unorganized with a huge demand but very less awareness. So that is the intent, and that is why we are trying to create structures and platforms where we can get this going. Now, in terms of questions, there were a few questions. I will just take a few of them. Firstly, the question was why there is no specific regulation on price control of biomass, briquette, etc. in the market. This question came through somebody. So if any panelists would like to take it on, you may please go ahead. Otherwise, we'll take it on your behalf. So anybody, please. Why is this?
Rohit, could I speak?
No, sir. The panelists will. Sir, just a moment. Sir. Let the panelist answer, unless you're answering this question. Yes.
Sorry, Rohit, I missed it. Can you repeat it again, sir?
Yeah. So the question which came was that why there is no specific regulation on price control for biomass briquettes in the market.
No, I think there was the regulation in a sense. I think Shahi would be more apt to answer this. But
yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's for pellets. Ministry of Power has come up for both torrefied and non-torrefied pellets. The benchmark cost they have said, but it is for pellets, not for briquettes. Yeah.
Right.
Another, I think the benchmark pricing they have set based on the calorific value of the pellets which are produced. So they have said for Delhi NCR region, if anyone who is like producing pellets, the basic price would be 2.32 or something similar per 1,000 kilocalorie of a pellet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the benchmark cost. But what I think the individual was probably asking is to sort of cap the price, and just to say that capping of biomass or any product of biomass is not feasible because the market decides the demand and supply. So you cannot cap, you cannot go on the MSP route on this biomass, because that's also just a minimum kind of a cost where you can buy it at. So I think that's what the market decides. There was another point in which somebody was asking, and for this, when we have the webinar with NTPC and Summer scheme, we will ask this question. But since I saw some representative of NTPC, and if he or she is poised to answer, you may unmute yourself and answer today. Otherwise, we'll wait for that webinar. Is the quality being delivered, being checked at the end of NTPC, and what is the mechanism is the question. So it's not for the panel, but if any from NTPCs wants to answer or Samat Mission wants to answer, you can answer today. Otherwise, we can just flag it for the next webinar when we have with NTPC and Samat Mission. I'll just wait for about 10 seconds. Then assume that there is nobody from NTPC and Samarth here. Okay. Then somebody wanted to understand about small scale pellet plant schemes. This came right now in the chat box as well. I think those tags have been given by Meena ji. I would recommend you to see that, because just for paucity of time, we don't want to elaborate upon a scheme here. There was some input. This is the last one before I go to Dr. S.C. Sharma, because he wants to say something. There was suggestion received, and please don't mind, because if you can't elaborate your point, we will not be able to say anything. The point conveyed to us in the form was Google form, that government schemes are clumsy. I mean, to write that is okay, that's very fine. Everybody's got a right to write that. But if that person who has written this is here, can just define in a very polite manner what are the lacunae in the schemes you find, and you can email that to us in the email ID given. And I can only assure you that it will be taken up with the concerned department and ministry in the right fashion to clarify what your request is. That besides, we have got 4 or 5 bullet point suggestions from eminent people attending as stakeholders today. I have duly said that we will connect with you. I have given the email ID as well, but I would request Anamika ji to take screenshots because somehow I'm not able to copy those messages. So if you can just scroll through and take those screenshots, which will help us compile the feedback of this webinar. And then it will be followed by next 2 weeks of interaction through email and WhatsApp, whatever you want to indulge with as stakeholder. And we also have a channel where we can give you more information. You can react there as well directly. And then probably we will be able to send the final feedback. So our aim is to make sure that the stakeholder interaction is carried forward positively to the concerned ministry, department, or quasi-governmental department, or and even the industry and technology players and project developers and financiers from our end. So without much ado, I think we are at nearly 4:40. I would request Dr. S.C. Sharma was here. I think he was trying to say something. Sir,
Yeah.
the floor is yours for exactly 3 minutes, sir, because I will give some chance to other
Right. I mean, I
IC
just
as well.
wanted to talk about 3 major policy issues because
Ji,
what
sir.
has happened is that Satat estimated 17 million tons of biomethane production from the bioenergy, and that's a huge number. And the value of that would be somewhere close to about $10 billion US per year. Now, bioenergy is totally in an unorganized sector and nobody knows what's happening. There's no database as such. And the value realization by Ministry of Petroleum is just 0.00001%. That's about 22,000 tons of biomethane. So that's the number which Ministry of Petroleum gives. So it's just minuscule and nothing. Now, the second thing on the policy side is that bioenergy is not a fuel for power. It's basically the highest value addition lies in the methane and the manure production. And that's what we need much more than the power is fueled by the coal. So that's what we need much with the gas as well as the methane as well as manure, because a lot of biomanure, organic manure would come. And the third point is that, in fact, this is being discussed in MNRE itself some 10 years back when they proposed that for bioenergy, there should be a separate organization. And accordingly, in fact, I too had been talking with a number of bioenergy webinars or seminars that yes, bioenergy should have a different ministry by itself so as to coordinate it both at the state and central level, and should also handle the subsidies, whatever, because the subsidies which are given, or what viability gap funding which is given about 1,800 crores or so, that's too minuscule. Given the huge value addition which could be created by the bioenergy produced in India, because the total bioenergy production goes somewhere between, including bagasse, it goes somewhere between 900 to 1,000 million tons of bioenergy. So until and unless we're gonna have the separate ministry to handle the states as state level as well as the huge bioenergy potential, things are not going to go the way they should happen. We created SECI in 2013, and you can see the results from SECI. So the way SECI was created for solar, and now of course wind is also taken into account by SECI. The way SECI was created, we should have a separate ministry for bioenergy, and that should coordinate with all agricultural ministry, Ministry of Petroleum, Ministry of finance, and many other stakeholders. I think that would be a right approach. Otherwise, we will keep wandering here and there. And for the last since 2017, we have, the oil industry has created some biogas or biomethane plants, but really not in a big way. So until and unless we have a coordinating ministry by itself,
I think that point is taken, sir, about the international coordination. So I will, ask very specifically any volunteers, because we have three schemes in the bioenergy sector, from waste, from biogas, and from bioenergy, that is densification. So anybody from this industry who thinks that he wants to give some important suggestion himself or herself, I can allow you about a minute and a half each. So just type in the chat box your name that you want to speak, and I will just draw the attention there. However, in the meantime, from the screen which I'm seeing, I can see one of the pioneers here who has worked in CBG and today doing with the aggregation is again Varun, I think. Varun, if you are here and if you would like to say something about this sector, maybe 2 or 3 bullet points, I think that will be a good suggestion from your side. So over to you, Varun, in case you can, take this on. Meanwhile, anybody else who wants to speak, I will allow you about a minute or two. So please go ahead and just drop your name there on the chat box. Amit, is Varun here? Anyway, I was seeing it probably. Anybody else who wants to give any suggestions currently based on the 4 speakers we had and collectively to MNRE in particular? I think there is Mr. Vipin Malhotra from Green Power. Vipin ji, please go ahead. Next 2 minutes are yours. Vipin Malhotra, you can unmute yourself and please go ahead. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, please
Am I
go
audible
ahead.
now?
Yeah, Vipin ji, please go ahead.
Yeah. Basically, the issues that we are practically facing from the industry side, being one of the technology supporters for the industry, we feel that the process should be made commercially viable for the entrepreneurs who are getting into this business. And in that regard, it is very important for the policies to be in line with the actual requirements of the entrepreneurs. Like, for example, there is a question of subsidies. The subsidies should be a little bit more enhanced so that these projects, because feedstock aggregation is a big challenge for the vendors. They have to either make arrangement for extra land for storing these feedstocks, and then to be profitable and to ensure good quality of this end product, they have to ensure good technology to be utilized. So for that also they require some extra better technologies, which are of course going to cost some money. So serious entrepreneurs should be supported, or I would say handheld by the department's policies in such a way that they are able to give profitable ventures and create employment and other benefits to the local area, because all 5 TPD, 10 TPD plants have a very strong possibility of creating good work environment in the area of catchment area of around say 20 kilometers radius around them. So it's very, very important that all the policies are made in that line. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for that point. I have somebody who's been communicating by the name of CA Shipra Rumta. If you are here, I would like to allow you a couple of minutes because you are making some valid points as well. So please go ahead and make your points, Shipra Rumta ji.
Yeah. Hi. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. So I am working as a consultant to a couple of MSMEs. Along with that, I'm closely working with the Next Gen Energy Limited, and I'm also founder person of Profintrix Consultants. So what I've observed since I'm in this industry since last, I think, more than 3-4 years I'm there in this industry. So first I would say is that I would say why no, we are not specifically focusing on MSMEs, because when we talk about bioenergy, or let's say when we talk about greening the let's say India, so I always say that everything, the roots of this industry is somewhere in villages. So until unless we take into consideration SMEs, I would uh, till that time whatever policies are made, I always I have a very I have read these policies of different ministries, right from Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. These policies, they are made at a very, very, very fine and very, very in depth level, but then at the end of the day, if they are not working for SMEs separately, definitely we will not be able to get that net zero, I would say, target of India.
Sure.
Apart from that, the other point I'm more into, I even gave suggestion on chat, was that we should start promoting carbon credits, because I had a word with someone, the other co fellow of the other industries, including CBG, solar. So even when you talk about, the same thing at an international level, so one carbon credit is somewhere, it is approximately equal to $1. So definitely it would be an additional income to SMEs, and it could be a game changer. Why? Because if you see across India nowadays, solar is coming up in each and every house is there, each and every small building is there. So that could be a very, very, very critical game changer in this industry.
Right. Thank you, Shipraji. We appreciate that. Positive
Thank you
time.
so much.
Your point is well understood. In fact, carbon storage, carbon credit, everything is going to come in line through these webinars in the future as well. We'll get you the best people as experts from the globe. So that much I can assure you, with our connections, you will have them sitting here. There was one representative from NDDB, Shri KB Pratap ji, who was giving a very good suggestion of what even Meena ji talked about. Was decentralized composition of CBG small scale. अगर आप केवी प्रताप जी, sorry, if you are here, I would like
Sir,
to give
I'm
you the
here.
floor for about two minutes. You can just in brief say what you are doing and who all can connect with you. That should be good enough for right now.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me to have my thoughts be shared with all the participants. Sir, basically, NDDB Mrida is for last around 6 years. We have been working on biogas in different components. So, small biogas plants, which we call household level biogas plants, mid-sized biogas plants, as well as bio-CNG plants. So, I have been surprisingly seen the observations of many other people who are saying that they are facing difficulty in arranging feed stock and other things. But for last 2 years, we have been smoothly running our bio-CNG biogas plant. That's the largest scale biogas plant, 5,000 cubic meter. And we are sourcing 100 metric ton dung every day on a daily basis. So on this 21st December 2024, we will complete 2 years of our journey. And every day, 100 metric ton means 1 lakh kilo dung we are sourcing every day, and that's running. There are challenges, obviously, I accept that. But then I think when we do the hard work, then the silver lining is there. And as far as the small biogas digesters deployment is concerned, fortunately, we are one of the national level program implementing agency with MNRE, and we are doing the implementation of MNRE's biogas program as well as bioenergy program countrywide. And as far if we talk about the total biogas deployments that we have done in a couple of years, is around 30,000 deployments we have done. And this year we are again planning for around 34,000 installations. So as we speak, every day around 100 installations we are able to do, and by the support of MNRE as well as other philanthropies, and there are different CSR donations, as well as we are leveraging carbon credits also. But this is not the limit. I mean, the country is so large. 30,000 installations are not is not going to create an impact. So if we have to create an impact on this large country, we need to have at least 1 lakh plus installations every year for the next 10 years. Then we are talking about at least 1 million biogas plants. So in the last 40 years, as Madam in the introduction session shared, that in the last 40 years, we have done 5 million installations. In the last 4 decades, we have done 5 million installations in the country with the MNRE support. And as we all know that whatever has been done in last 3-4 decades, we have been able to do or we want to do, and the government wants to do in the next 5 years. And that's very much possible with the active ecosystem right now we have for bioenergy, for biomass management, and for better waste management. So with these policies, I think if we fine tune the program guidelines, we will be able to do at least some millions of installations in the next 5 to 10 years. That's required to create an impact. That's my suggestion. And all of anyone who would like to connect with us, they can connect with us. We are open for collaborations and to bring synergy in the ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pratap ji. So I think we are nearing the end of the time for the day. However, I can take one more speaker, very brief. Somebody wants to speak for about 2 minutes. Is Amrit Khattarji here? He was there initially, or Mr. Sunil Rai is here, or is Varun back? Either.
Sir, I'm back. Sorry, I missed your question. You were
So
calling.
Varun, I just wanted to take a couple of pointers from you.
Sure.
So those points we discussed about the financial part and how it should be given to aggregators. Any other suggestions, any two currently which you feel in the broader ambit of what MNRE can do, 2 points that would be good. And then we will take it the next step with the next webinar when we go deep diving into specifics. So over to you.
Thank you, sir. I think just quickly 2 cents from our side. We think that the government is doing great in terms of supporting the sector. So we should recognize what IFGE has also done, and along with the government departments. Secondly, there's certain gaps in terms of the aggregation prices, I would say, which anyways IFGE and other people are bringing forward. Our main concern is around the subsidies, of course, for aggregation machinery, which we will raise separately. But apart from that, the sector, I think, sir, we have solved a lot of challenges as a sector, and a lot of people over here are interested. I think we should keep doing these seminars over and over again. If there's any way we can support the sector in terms of giving out information, we're more than happy to share because we have a lot of information available with us, starting from multiple technologies to the pricing as well. So we can add value over there. That's from our side, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Varun. So I think we have neared our time. So I had put a poll today, and the poll was about 3 topics for the next webinar. And
Rohit sir, good evening. Just I was able to speak, sir, for 1 minute.
Please go ahead. I was
I'm traveling,
searching
sir,
for
and
you. Yeah, go ahead.
thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. The
Most
one
welcome.
basic thing, sir, the single liner from my side, the consumption should be increased. Like what we have seen in our years, whenever there is a consumption, the demand and supply chain will be established. So there is no question about the supply chain. Only demand side, there is a lacking. Like I have seen in a Greater Noida, the company is burning paddy straw as a fuel. They are getting paddy straw. So what is the change is required? The government is, the policy should be encouraged for entrepreneurs who are putting a boiler and boot model, sir, build, own and operate, where the boiler should be utilized either paddy straw as a fuel or cantress as a fuel, 70-80%. So such installation will increase the significant utilization of the paddy straw and decentralize availability like Panipat, Sonipat, Greater Noida, that can be leveraged with the available fuel, sir. That's all from my side, sir.
Thank you. So I was just doing a poll on the BGAF channel, and the poll has come up, Sanjay ji, with the topic challenges and recommendations for the biomass supply chain. We'll take this up as the next topic because this is essential for any vertical utilizing the biomass, whether it's bioenergy, steam, heat, briquetting, pelleting, or it is biofuels or biomaterial. So we will hold this and we will get on the panel the best minds who can encourage our entrepreneurs. We'll try to get more entrepreneurs as well next time here. And we'll also get a few farmers to get from them as well to understand what the pain points are. So we'll organize it like a small panel discussion in the next one. And I thank all of you to be here. Over to Sanjay ji and Subodh ji to summarize so that we can finish on time. And as per good military standards, we should finish at 5. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. I think the panelists were quite clear with their presentations, particularly with respect to the support MNRE is providing for different, under different schemes for bioenergy sector. So I must thank each one of them, particularly Dr. Sangita Kasture, who took time out of her busy schedule to address this webinar. I also thank Dr. Gaurav Mishra, Dr. Sachin Kumar, Dr. Sanjay Kumar Shahi, and Dr. Sita Meena for sparing their time and sharing their valuable inputs, particularly with respect to the schemes they are handling. So I also thank Subodh ji, the chairperson of our Biomass Global Associates Forum, and also the national advisor of IFGE. for his initial remarks. I also thank all participants who have attended this program at a very short notice, and we had a very good participation from across all sectors. So I thank, last but not the least, Colonel Rohit Dev, who has been who is a 4G and who pushes us for doing some quality work, particularly these webinars. This is basically his brainchild, and he takes a lot of interest in this. And all other colleagues, including Aman, Anand, my colleague Rohit, and Anamika, who have worked on this conference. So we will be, putting this recording on our YouTube channel also. You can log into YouTube channel of IFGE, and hopefully by tomorrow or day after you will get to see the video or recording of the entire webinar. So we'll keep on bothering you in future also. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, everybody. Jain.